Hallelujah. Hallelujah. We needed some positive news. We needed to step in the right direction, and we're going to talk about that after this spiffy new intro. Pretty cool. Thanks, Anarchy, for that intro. I put the link down to his channel below. He creates intros. Absolutely love the dude. Part of our community. Thank you so much, man. Super professional. Check it out, guys. The 3.8.2 has landed for PTU. I'm going to try it out tonight, see what I think of it. We're going to go over the notes, but the most important part of this update and very, very needed positive news. This is a huge step in the right direction, and personally, I think this is pretty big news. When listed in the new features here, we see this update in Spectrum. You see that for their core tech, they're adding initial long-term persistence. So what does this mean? They have added an early version of long-term persistence to allow player purchases and UEC balance to persist between database wipes. Wow. That is huge, because that was the one major factor why people were upset. Now, of course, we got the 30K errors. I'm not quite sure if they're doing anything with that. I think that's going to always be a problem, but this at least will cure some of the conditions that we see when people are saying, I don't want to log back in because it's pointless to grind. I'm grinding every time they wipe it. I come back, I start at 0 again. It says, for now, we will persist FPS item purchases, ship component purchases, and ship purchases, and UEC earnings. That is huge. Now, how often will they actually say, okay, we have to reset this? I don't know yet. So this might be like a little bit of a false flag, but personally, I think they've recognized a problem in retaining people, gamers, and they're trying to alleviate the problem so that people stay longer, so they play longer, so they actually feel like, hey, I want to log back in. There's a reason to log back in. My balance is the same. I have the same ships. Apologies, I'm getting messaged right now. This is not professional. I'm trying to make a video. And I will say this. Kudos to Cloud Imperium for listening to the community, and I think this is a big move in the right direction. Now, that in itself is just great news. But let's see what else is going to be landing here. I'm going to be trying this as I'm in the first wave here, but we see this post here by one of the staff members. Alpha patch 3.8.2 has been released to PTU, and it is now available. Blah, 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 blah. Everything we always know. Test focus, long-term persistence. That's great. In times like these where we have a lull in content, and we're saying, hey, we're starting to question like some of the content we've been seeing that's been lackluster from Inside Star Citizen, from Star Citizen Live, and now we're seeing people starting to get upset and saying, I'm not going to be a subscriber anymore. This is exactly what is needed to create like a positive atmosphere for people so that they feel like, hey, I want to keep logging back into the game. This is great. This is what we talk about on the channel all the time, creating positivity in the game and reasons to log back in. General gameplay and traversal, bug regression list, known issues, escort missions may not proceed after reaching the rendezvous marker. Sometimes repair services are unavailable when they should be present. After a ship is repaired, detachable components will remain attached to the ship when destroyed, and the duplicate component will fall off. Repair fails if you select repair and fuel simultaneously. Okay, so they have some workarounds here. I'm going to put the link down below in the description so you guys can really go over this. I want to kind of just go over exactly what I think is more important in here. I honestly, the new features, that core tech is just so huge. Like, that is such a huge step in the right direction. I hope this goes over very well. Of course, we're in the PTU right now, so this is not something that's being released to the PU. This is something they're testing. I hope that we have successful testing and that we can slide this over to the PU as soon as possible. Feature updates, ships and vehicles, updated interior lighting for the Cutlass Red. Wow, that's awesome. We were saying it. We were saying, why is it so dark in the Cutlass Red? So that's really good to hear that. Increase the light radius and intensity of the Cutlass Red searchlight. Awesome. That's awesome. It was bright enough to begin with, but yeah, it should be even brighter, should cover more area. Absolutely. You can now interact with the medical bed computer on ships while standing next to it to save your spawning location. Okay. We talked about that in length on the stream. We talked about spawn locations, how they're kind of temporary right now. It's kind of like a placeholder. We discussed if that was a smart thing to do. That's on the channel. Bug fixes. Fix an issue that was causing FOIP to be turned on by default. Okay. Fix the missing audio on Cutlass Red med bay door. Fix a possible click in the Cutlass Red thruster audio. Fix game-wide crackling audio caused by weapon fire. Report audio insurance claims should consistently work without duplications. Bed logout should now work consistently and no longer cause an infinite load. Fix various shield holes on the Aegis Saber. And it seems like when they have these shield holes, what they do is they're like buffing up the corners. They're buffing up the hit points on corners of areas of like wing areas or areas where they miss what they're calling shield holes. I don't know. You know, once I really want to get into a video where we're talking about the overall design of ships when it comes to like the actual hit points and talk about armor points that really aren't really even introduced or part of the equation yet. Something I wanted to talk about in a video in the future. Fix interaction text orientation on side airlocks at the Cutlass Red. Fix missing weapon rack inside the Cutlass Red. Fix multiple shopping kiosk issues that could result in transactions going through but not the item not being granted to the player. Fix missing interior cockpit glass. Fix Cutlass Red interaction text position. Fine terminals should now show the correct UEC code. Scan mineable rock markers should now correctly show on the edge of the screen while the minables are off screen. That's cool. Claim jumper missions should now correctly show waypoints and spawn NPCs. Players should no longer randomly die getting off the tram at Riker Memorial Spaceport in Area 18. Yeah. Fix multiple lighting effects, sometimes being excessively bright on the vehicle loadout manager. Fix Cubby Blast shop kiosk USE interaction points so that they can now all be interacted with correctly. Fix 3 server crashes. Fix 12 client crashes. All right. So it looks like they're kind of doing a mea culpa here and saying, hey guys, we understand content right now is a little bit lackluster. We want to give you something to ponder over. And this core tech adding initial long-term persistence is hopefully just more so than what it, hopefully this acts the way that we want it to. And we get this long-term persistence that we all want, so that we have the reason to continue to log in and say, oh look, after this next patch, I'm still where I was on the last one. Great. And of course, I think at some point they'll have to say, okay, we're going to have to restart it, but at least this will give us a little longer term periods of where we can grind, make that cash if you're a trader, if you're into the missioning system. And this is a good step in the right direction. I like to report positive news for the game right now, especially since this year has kind of been like, in terms of what we're seeing. This is a huge step in the right direction. So thanks everybody for watching. I hope this cheers a lot of you up. I know it cheers me up, and I will see you on the next vid. Today's video has been brought to you by the generous patrons of DG360 who make continued content possible. DG360 patrons enjoy monthly giveaways like Star Citizen packages, Steam gift cards, and any game that you want giveaways. Please consider donating $1 if in any way you enjoy DG360 content. And these difficult times where independent content creation is under attack from the FTC and left to die by YouTube, it's nice to know that I'm appreciated. Thank you.